get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the
way! May 16th, 2020. Former President Barack Obama gave a commencement speech for this year's graduates at a ceremony organized by LeBron James called Graduate Together.
Tonight is for you. Tonight we honor 12 years of your hard work.
When LeBron originally made the announcement that Obama would be speaking at the engagement, he sent out a tweet in which he referred to Obama as the GOAT. We know that the goat represents the horned god worshipped in several pagan religions and is symbolic of Lucifer, the devil, or Satan. It should be noted that in the short movie, I Pet Goat, Obama was depicted wearing a graduation cap. The graduation cap is actually a mortar board, which is a tool used to hold plaster or mortar by brick masons or builders while they work. The black robes worn at these events are the same black robes worn by judges who sit on the bench and preside over courts of law and give judgments, and priests who are supposed to be responsible for giving the law of God to man. These black robes, however, are also symbolic of the false god Saturn and is connected to the six-pointed hexagram as well. The graduation ceremony then is actually based on Freemasonic ritual in which students of a course of study upon completion receive a degree, just like the Masonic degrees initiates in Freemasonry receive. In fact, initiates that receive the third degree to become a Master Mason must endure a strange and mystical ritual called riding the goat. In previous videos, we have discussed how the coronavirus signals the crowning of Obama as the leader of the one world government, since corona means crown and virus means the venom of a serpent. Therefore, his commencement speech to 2020's graduates only further demonstrates his aspirations to push the world forward towards the destruction of the old world order and the shedding of its traditional systems of morals and values to the full implementation of the new world order and the requisite adoption of the new age values and ideals that are vital for its development. Graduate together, one world at home together, they are gradually making you into global citizens. I would not be surprised to see a date picked out in the future for the observance of people worldwide for the coronavirus pandemic, which marks the time in history when the world became one.
I believe that we can speak with one voice, one voice, one voice, one voice, one voice.
With this goal in mind, Obama's speech, which was delivered with the subtlety of the serpent that he is, resembled the powerful venom injected into the bloodstream of a helpless victim suffering a deadly strike from the most vile and poisonous of vipers. His words dropped from his lips as smooth and as sweet as honey, yet they secretly contained the ruinous capacity for corrupting the soul and the vitriol or corrosive effect of sulfuric acid poured out on the morals of society. Since the workmanship of his tabrets and his pipes were prepared in him in the day that he was created, Obama was able to hit all the necessary notes designed to strike a chord with the impressionable minds of his target audience. Obama was introduced by a young lady named Anaya, which means favor or Grace.
Hi, my name is Anaya Fisher, and I'm a senior at Kenwood Academy High School on the south side of Chicago.
Anaya attended Kenwood Academy High School, but what is most important about her introduction for Obama for his commencement speech is that her school's mascot is a Bronco. This connects Obama to the rider on the white horse of Revelation 6:2. And since this is the commencement speech, it marks the beginning of the time when the rider on the white horse goes forth, conquering and to conquer. Previously, we've connected Obama to the rider on the white horse from his acceptance speech at Mile High Stadium and the jersey he received from the Denver Broncos at the White House. During his speech, Obama spoke directly about the coronavirus when he said this.
This pandemic has shaken up the status quo and laid bare a lot of our country's deep-seated problems. It's woken a lot of young people up to the fact that the old ways of doing things just don't work. That it doesn't matter how much money you make if everyone around you is hungry and sick. And that our society and our democracy only work when we think not just about ourselves, but about each other.
In saying this, Obama was laying the groundwork which calls for the end of the old world order when he rails against the old ways of doing things, claiming that they just don't work.
The old ways of doing things just don't work.
In stating this, he is calling for this new generation to destroy the old world order and to build a new one in its place. When you think of how this generation, since its inception, has been immersed in, fascinated with, and made codependent on technology, it becomes clear how the implementation of the mark of the beast could be easily sold to them, disguised as transhumanism or the next step in human evolution.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID, and he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
I think it's really good with a chip ticket. I love all companies that use the chip technology.
We have to imagine how governments and how ambitious politicians and even ambitious corporate executives will try to imagine putting this type of technology into you so that they can exploit your data and ultimately exploit you. Already governments are keen to capture your fingerprints. They are keen to capture your iris scans, and they want to be able to do this at a distance so they can identify you as you walk through areas. They're doing facial recognition. These are all fallible technologies. They're hard to do well, but the idea that they could actually just embed you, it is the modern form of tattooing barcodes on people. And we've seen governments do that in the past. This is just the next generation.
Already, the man who has been pushing the development of a coronavirus vaccine and the one who provided Anya her scholarship, Bill Gates' Microsoft company, has been granted a worldwide patent on a cryptocurrency system using body activity data. It is very easy to imagine how the integration of human biology and technology through an interface that would allow for its use as identification, a means of access to digital currency, banking, transportation, and much, much more would be palatable to this new generation that was born only a year after the September 11th attacks in 2001 or later, and has been immersed in technology from the time that they came out of the womb. Recently, we've been discussing HR 6666, the testing, reaching, and contacting everyone or trace bill that will require healthcare officials, with the help of police, to go door to door and conduct mandatory testing for coronavirus. It should be noted that this bill was introduced by Illinois Democrat Representative Bobby Rush. Obama and Rush have a lot of history together. Here you see Obama and Rush during a debate in 2000. Here, Rush is seen congratulating Obama at his inauguration in 2009. And here, you see Obama and Rush embrace at his State of the Union address in 2016. The Washington Times referred to H.R. 6666 as a devil of a COVID-19 government surveillance plot. In the next part of his speech, Obama masterfully sets the stage by subtly suggesting that parents and elders are inept and their ways of doing things are outdated and no longer relevant.
It's also pulled the curtain back on another hard truth. Something that we all have to eventually accept once our childhood comes to an end. You know, all those adults that you used to think were in charge and knew what they were doing? Turns out they don't have all the answers. A lot of them aren't even asking the right questions. So, if the world's going to get better, it's going to be up to you.
Obama is the Pied Piper, piping to your children. This connects back to Andre 3000 showing up at Los Angeles Airport, or the Los Angels, playing a pipe. Notice the sign in the background says work together, win together, which is a reference to graduate together in one world at home together. The woman who spotted Andre 3000 was Antonia Craig-Heather. It just so happens that she is an associate producer for NPR's Latino USA. Latino USA is owned by Futuro Media Group, which claims that it challenges the status quo by articulating and fostering diversity in public media and nurturing the growth and development of a new generation of multicultural journalists in America. It's ironic how Futuro's mission statement echoes Obama's words about challenging the status quo.
This pandemic has shaken up the status quo and laid bare a lot of our country's deep-seated problems.
It also goes on to promote the new generation and multicultural togetherness, or a new world order, just like the sign in the background, which says, work together, win together. This is pure propaganda meant to brainwash you.
With all the challenges this country faces right now, nobody can tell you, no, you're too young to understand, or this is how it's always been done. Because with so much uncertainty, with everything suddenly up for grabs, this is your generation's world to shape. Since I'm one of the old guys, I won't tell you what to do with this power that rests in your hands. But I'll leave you with 3 quick pieces of advice.
As his second piece of advice, he encouraged the graduates to do what they think is right.
Second, do what you think is right. Doing what feels good, what's convenient, what's easy, that's how little kids think.
By encouraging these young adults to do what they think is right, as opposed to doing what is right, he is encouraging the postmodern idealistic rhetoric of moral relativism, which says truth is subjective and based on a person's feelings and opinions, and that there is no absolute objective truth that is based solely on facts rather than opinions, feelings, and personal interpretation. Without a doubt, this is postmodern idealism, which promotes the thought that truth is what you make it. I've shown you in the past how this was described by Will Smith in his interview with Tavis Smiley, where he said 2 + 2 does not equal 4, but instead it equals whatever he wants it to be.
I want to represent magic, right? that you're in a universe and 2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 plus 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 plus 2 is going to be what I want it to be.
Moral relativism is nothing more than Aleister Crowley's satanic, self-indulgent law, do what thou wilt.
You won't get it right every time. You'll make mistakes like we all do. But if you listen to the truth that's inside yourself, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, people will notice.
Encouraging these graduates to live their truth once again suggests that the truth is relative and that there is no absolute truth. This is contrary to the word of God, which declares, Yehoshua saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. It is important to note that Pharrell from the group Neptunes also made an appearance during this event. Neptune is the same as Poseidon. He is the god of the underworld and represents the beast from the sea. Interestingly enough, Neptune was also worshipped by the Romans as a god of horses, which connects back to the rider on the white horse. Pharrell uses the Vulcan hand sign, which was taken from the character Spock from Star Trek. In the previous video, I showed you Obama making the same hand sign. There's something else that I'd like to mention which connects to Obama's commencement speech. On Friday, May 15th, 2020, Trump unveiled to the public that the Space Force would be developing a super-duper missile that travels 17 times faster than any missile the U.S. now has.
I call it the super-duper missile, and I heard the other night 17 times faster than what they have right now. Then you take the fastest missile we have right now.
Remember, Duper was the name of the security guard who was shot and killed at the Family Dollar in Michigan. Duper means liar. Therefore, Super Duper would be a super liar, the father of lies. In the past, we've discussed the importance of the number 17. In Hebrew, 17 is the number of sin. This is a direct reference to the Hebrew letter Shin, which is also spelled sin and is represented by the Vulcan hand sign.
Was magical. This is the shape of the letter Shin, Hebrew alphabet Shin. Very interesting letter in the language. The first letter in the word Shekhinah, which is the name of the feminine aspect of God, who supposedly was created to live amongst humans, the Shekhinah.
The number 17 then represents the 17th tarot card, which is the star card, and uses the symbol of an 8-pointed star in a woman. The 8-pointed star represents the goddess Ishtar, Asherah, or Inanna, the queen of heaven and consort of Tammuz. She is the divine feminine and is also associated with Venus. This connects back to Shakira and J-Lo's Super Bowl performance when they made the symbol of Venus. In classical mythology, Lucifer, the light bringer, was the name of the planet Venus. When you look at the logo for Trump's Space Force, you will notice that there is an 8-pointed star situated at the top left of the logo. The logo is also the sign that is made when you use both hands to make the letter Shin, which is 17 in Hebrew. Since this hand sign is connected to the divine feminine in Kabbalah, we know that this is connected to Ishtar, Venus, and ultimately Lucifer. It is clear that we are living in the time of the end, and we are bearing witness to the destruction of the old world and the building of the new, the opening of the 6 seals, and the commencement of the rider of the white horse going forth to conquer. If you have not given your life to the Most High by accepting Yahushua HaMashiach as your Master and Redeemer, the time to do so is now. The final battle is about to begin. Amen. Shalom.